Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. Today is transfer deadline day, it's season 14 episode 2 and we have got a big day ahead of us here at Barca. Our new director of football, the Englishman Michael Edwards, has got a massive task on his hand to spend that budget and spend it wisely to give us a squad that might compete for the title, because so far things have looked very scratchy indeed and we're going to need to improve massively. Because the next game and the feature game on camera later today is Real Madrid, El Clasico. They're top, they've won every game, they're miles clear on the goal difference, and we've got a lot of catching to do by the looks of it. We'll also take a look at the draw for our Champions League group stage matches. You can see AS Monaco's the first game, but it gets a whole lot worse, let me assure you. But first of all, of course, it is transfer deadline day, and it's going to be a massive occasion here. So let's go and get straight into it. If you're looking forward to the episode, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. If you've missed the Barcelona story so far, you can click back in the eye above to catch up with this season. Just 2 episodes you've missed. And of course, you can subscribe down below for daily FM20 content from 2 long-term stories. We've got a new short-term series with Macclesfield which started last Sunday. A massive thank you to everyone who checked out the first episode. Please do give it a try if you did miss it. It's something a little bit different, and I'm really looking forward to it, so I hope you are too. And thank you, of course, to everyone who joined along the live stream this morning. Apologies for missing last week, and hopefully we'll all be back to normal now. You might notice a slightly new camera angle as well, because we've got the new desk in place. I did a little community post about it, so go and have a little look if you haven't seen it. But thank you so much for your support, and hopefully transfer deadline day will live up to expectation. So I guess the key thing to cover before we get into the day itself is that we haven't had any more incoming since the last episode. We've had 1 outgoing, which was Ryan Rebeles on loan. I think he was in the first team when we joined and then we relegated him. 2-star ability, very average player. And we're hoping we can get a bit more in today. So let's take part. Our director of football's in charge from here. And we'll be back when we get any news today. First news of the day, which is worryingly at nearly 5 o'clock in the evening, is about a potential out, and it's our former club Borussia Mönchengladbach making an offer for Gorka Martin. He is a young right back in the reserves, 2-star ability and a lot more potential. We don't really want him going anywhere, and it's a good job because that offer's been rejected. However, there's no sign of anything being done. There's $1 million in the wage budget and 78 million to spend, and there's nothing being done. It's so frustrating to watch. But we can only live in hope. There's still just over 7 hours to go. Fingers crossed. Well, to be brutally honest, the one thing I didn't expect at the start of the day was this. So Real Madrid have signed a player for 20 million. Valencia have signed 2 for a combined 70 million. And we've signed no one. We've not even put a bid in. It is a pretty pathetic deadline day. And a couple of you have mentioned in the last 2 episodes that you thought we might get sacked because of the really high expectations here. And I guess I just sort of assumed that there'd be a little bit of an investment into the team because there's such an old squad here, but nothing has been done whatsoever. It is really concerning, and as transfer deadline day passes, as it stands, we've got the worst squad of the top 3. And with the next game being Real Madrid at home, after 3 pretty disappointing performances, you of course saw the first one on camera. We followed it up with a scraped late 1-0 win against Levante at home, and a 2-0 win against Granada, which wasn't much better, despite changing tactic to the more attacking formation and the more attacking style that was so successful at Chelsea. And that leads us to our next problem. If we look at the Champions League group stages, as well as Monaco and RB Salzburg, we have drawn Chelsea. They're the first seeds in the group. You would imagine they'll probably beat us because they've got a better side, I think. I would imagine they've also improved this summer as well, which is something we haven't really done. So let's have a look at what they've done, because I'm imagining there'll be a lot. So the only sale really is Marcus Rashford. They've also loaned out Hakimi, but none of the others were really first team last year. They've signed Bukayo Saka to replace the left back. Roger was signed before we left. It's been a quiet window for them as well, actually, but they've got a younger squad now because of the regeneration last year, and we just haven't got that. So I'm really petrified of the Champions League, and it's fair to say after this episode, Chelsea away will be the next one. But Real Madrid at home, El Clasico is the next game, and we'll be back in a moment for that. And we're going to have to try and find solutions, because this is the squad until January now. And this is the problem when you have a head coach save, because the director of football is in charge of transfers, and now 2 of our key players are unhappy due to nothing that we could have done. Jadon Sancho wanted someone to sign to settle him, and that was an English player or an English speaker. That hasn't happened. Todibo wanted to strengthen the first team squad. We haven't done it, so he's unhappy. But we're not in charge of transfers. I mean, this one must have been promised before we joined the club. The Sancho one was in our initial chat, but it was sort of led that way rather than us doing it. And then we've not been able to improve. So what on earth do we do here? Because Michael Edwards has really let us down. He hasn't improved the coaching team. He hasn't improved the recruitment team. We're just really struggling to get going. And this is something I didn't expect. Off the pitch with Barcelona, I know there's been the odd issue in real life, but I thought they'd get by. But as it stands, we've now got a fight on our hands to keep our job and make a success of this. Because I wonder what the media expect now, actually. Are Valencia expected to finish above us? Not quite, but it's closed. The gap in the odds has closed. Atletico Madrid and Sevilla and Real Sociedad are not far behind, actually. So there are some slight concerns here. And if you look at those best players in the league, there's 2 from Atletico, 2 from Valencia, 2 from Real Madrid, and then really in that top 7, just Rui Alves. We've then got Todibo, but there's plenty of others after that. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to make this. It's a really difficult season for us. We've got to pick our Champions League squad, which should be easy because there's not much competition. And then we'll be back for El Clasico. Hopefully something positive to end on. It's kickoff time at the Nou Camp. It's El Clasico and the international break is over. We haven't yet seen what condition our players are in, but there is some good news before we start it. Valencia have lost. Atletico Madrid have been held. So it isn't going to get too disastrous for us today in terms of finishing second. However, finishing first might be an issue if we lose this one. Real Madrid star player has already made me a little bit worried. Dominichini, I think this is. Roberto, the 25-year-old Italian. I mean, look how good he is. He makes our world-class strikers look pretty average, to be honest. A brilliant player, and I don't know how we compete. I don't know how we stop him, more worryingly. But into the game we go. Real Madrid, despite being the visitors, are slight favourites at a sold-out Nou Camp. And would you look at that? We've got one player tired, and it's the best player at the club. So he's going to have to play. We're going to get the under-19s out. Let's see who else is available in the squad. Get rid of the unregistered, unavailable players. And we have got 4 players that aren't in the squad. Ruben Vinagre's not fit, so Martinez will go on the bench, the young Barcelona player. And what else do we do is the big question. Do we go Mastanov or Esposito up front? I think Esposito, because he scored in the last game. And he's probably just about the better of the two. Certainly more imposing physically. Ledesma's a very good player, but again, he's not world class. He's certainly not Real Madrid standard. That's the issue I have. So I think we're going to stick with that and just hope for the best. It's Bernard in goal as we play our usual 4-2-3-1. Molina and Galovic the fullbacks with Armini and Todibo the ball-playing centre-halves. The one good thing so far this season, bar that last minute of the first game, we have looked defensively solid. So hopefully we'll be able to keep a clean sheet or keep Dominichini out at least. Luiz in central midfield. He's going to become a deep line playmaker on support, which seems to suit us better. Joseph as the Mazzala, the tired Rui Alves on the right, which of course will have a knock-on effect in the Champions League. Almada and Sancho completing the attacking midfield 3. Sancho will switch to an inside forward on support, and then Esposito on his own up front. So we're as close now to the Chelsea tactic as I think we can be. We've gone a little bit wider, we're running at the defence a bit more. I don't know what else we can do really. We're distributing short to the centre-halves and we're playing out from the back. We will drop that defensive line very slightly today because we're playing against one of the quickest and best strikers in the world. But other than that, we're as strong as we can be and we're getting into Barcelona v Real Madrid. El Clasico is the game. Who do you think will win? Let me know down in the comments. And please don't go for a Barcelona win because we'll probably all look a bit silly. It's 4-2-3-1 today. It's 2 teams playing the same formation. Interestingly, their star players playing off the right. Rodrigo, who played against City in the Champions League in real life, is on the left. He's just starting to decline now. And up front, they've got a striker called Adria, who's very good and very quick, but not quite as good as the other lad, although he has scored 4 in 3. They've got a world-class side, though. They're definitely the better of the two. And the only thing that can really help us here is home advantage. So we're going to stick with positive for now and try and get into it. And we'll drop to balanced if we start getting outplayed. And we've got an early throw on the left-hand side with Galovic. Into Sancho. Galovic again. Dalian in possession finds Armini. The last thing we want to do is gift them a goal as we did away at Real Betis. Here's Todibo. Out to the right back, Molina. Alves ahead of him. He needs to get in form early because he's not got much energy in the tank. Back to Florentino Luis. Keeping possession well. Not really going anywhere though. And again, work back to the keeper. Bernard. Armini. It's not bad if we keep possession. Real Madrid can't score, but the way they're pressing, they might nick one. Here's Galovic into Luis. Now he's got time. Can he pick the forward pass? Goes back to centre half. They're all playing a bit safe. Joseph changes that into Almada. What a ball from Dan Joseph. Almada does the cartwheel. It's a brilliant goal. And after 3 minutes and a brilliant passing move, it is somehow Barcelona 1, Real Madrid 0. The first sign of greatness so far this season. As Alves picks it up in the middle. This looks like we've got off to a flyer. Alves run the whole pitch to the left wing. And unfortunately then gives it away as Testa will clear it down the right. Over to Adria and he's in one-on-one. Is it that easy? Is it that easy for a player to get in one-on-one against Barcelona? Thankfully he drags it wide of the post. But Real Madrid are so potent going forward. And at the back we look a little bit fragile still. And the visitors have a throw in again. Legal gives it into Testa. Back to Silva, the centre half. And there's pressure on him but he finds De Jong, his partner. On the halfway line, switches to the left. Molina heads away. Alves can't get there though, and the pressure continues from Los Blancos. Here we go for Rodrigo. Back inside to Rodriguez. Over the left side to Markovic. Crosses in. Adria heads for 1-1. And that is simple as you like. Real Madrid so easily cutting through us. And I've got to be honest, defensively, this is probably the most fragile team I've had since, I don't even know how long, Scunthorpe? I mean, Chelsea looked very good at the back. Salford were excellent that last season. Charlton were brilliant defensively. It probably is Scunthorpe the last time we looked really bad at the back. And it's Alves on the right wing. Can we get to life coming forward though? Alves runs the length. He's in one-on-one. And there you go. At last he's shown a sign of being one of the best players in the world. Rui Alves runs the length of the pitch. Slides the ball in under the keeper. And we've come to life as an attacking side. Alves crosses. Joseph heads just over. We've suddenly become a world-class attacking force. Why can't we do this every game? I know you normally have 10 behind the ball in La Liga, but still, Chelsea managed it as Joseph gives the ball away. And this is such a concern. One long ball over the top. It's in for 2-2. And all Real Madrid are doing is punting it over and running onto it. It is so bad. I mean, it's awful how bad we are at the back. We've got really quick defenders, but it's not working out much. And we're just going to have to go for it. I'm not quite sure what else we can do here. Yes, they've been playing an offside trap, which doesn't seem to be working. So I tell you what, we're not going to do that. Instead of going back defensively, we're just not going to use the offside trap. And hopefully that'll work out because Real Madrid have broken it twice and Adria has scored another 2 really easy goals. Almost Sunday League football-esque. Corner for Barcelona. Alves puts it in. And to be honest, there's only actually been 5 shots on target in this match, but somehow 4 goals. It's been a really poor standard defensively from both teams as Bernard gets it back in his own goal line. Here he comes out of the box, switches it to right back. Molina with a chance to come forward. Instead drawn backwards. Real Madrid pressing really high and it finds Florentino Luis out to Alves. Had a really good first half, but how much more energy is really in that tank? To Luis, and again we're just going backwards. I know it worked out for the first goal, but it can't keep happening. Armini switches the tempo. Out to Sancho. Towards Alves. Beats one. Into the box. Rui Alves. And his shot's down to Chara's right. But he gets there pretty comfortably in the end. And it is 2-2 at half time. The one thing I did not predict before this match is an absolute thriller at both ends. 2-2. Loads of chances. Brilliant finishes. And awful defending. Who's going to come out on top here? We've got an injury at left back for Galovic. Vinagre's not on the bench. We can't do anything about it. Todibo gets it to Alves. Can we get a third? That would help. Alves beats one. Out to Molina overlapping. 4 in the box for Barca. Back to Luis on the edge. Shoots. Hits the post. Markovic out for the corner on the rebound. And Barcelona still nearly took the lead again. And it's now Alves with an outswinging corner. 4 in the middle, but no one gets there bar Silva. And Adria just runs away. Where on earth is the defending? It's a poor tackle from Molina. Adria to the byline. Sancho does well. What on earth was he doing back there? But he did brilliantly. Great tackle, and now it falls for Florentino Luis, who gives it away on the edge of his own box. To Dominichini. You cannot give it to them there. Dominichini in, and it's a good challenge from Galovic. But you cannot give the ball away on the edge of your own penalty area against the Spanish champions Madrid. It is terrible decision making. Testa with the corner kick into the box. Todibo heads away. Goes as far as Silva on the left wing, and it's starting to look a bit more Real Madrid dominated here. And it is still 2-2 with an hour on the clock. Just a quarter remaining, no further highlights, so we're going to make changes. Esposito replaced by Mastonov, can't get either of them playing well. Bawadu on for Sancho, only done one good thing, and that was defensively. The rest of the side, we're going to leave the same for now, because the back four, we haven't got great reinforcements, and the midfield, we haven't really got anything on the bench, and they're all playing well. So let's just try and stick it out. Free kick defensively for Barcelona, 15 minutes left, and it's Galovic back to Armini. Please don't give away a stupid goal at the back. That's all I'm asking. Todibo, out to Molina. Chance to come forward to Rui Alves, who's starting to look knackered. We might have to replace him as he's tried to be absolutely hacked down there. He's beaten 3 again. That is sublime play from Rui Alves. Dribbles round half the team. Well, unfortunately, his shot's just over. And now it's Real Madrid on the attack. Rodriguez, back out to the right to Markovic. Into Dominichini, hits the post. It bubbles around all over the place. Adria slides in to try and get a hat-trick. And Bernard puts his grateful arms on the ball. We've got 10 minutes left. We're going to demand more. And I think we're going to have to make that final change. Because unfortunately, Rui Alves looks shattered. So on will come Onesimo, a man who wanted to leave the club. And still probably does. But let's just bring him as an inside forward and see if we can nick a late winner. We've got the ball at centre-half with Todibo. We're just waiting to see how much stoppage time there is. But in the meantime, Molina's surging down the right unopposed. Back inside to Luiz. He's got Dan Joseph with him. Finds him. On the edge of the centre circle to Luiz. To Almada. Onesimo. Good block, but he's still got the ball. Right side of the box. Delivers to the back post. Bawadu's header tipped onto the bar. Brilliant save by the Madrid keeper. And it is a corner kick as we go into 3 minutes added on. Almada delivers. I mean, what a game this has been. We have been awful going forward so far this season. And this game has just come to life. It's Bawadu to Florentino Luis. Edge of the box, can't give it away there and does. But Armini picks it up and the highlight ends. And I think this thriller is going to finish 2-2. What a game of football between two brilliant sides. And although Real Madrid's still probably the better of the two, I'm more hopeful than I was at the start of this episode. Or certainly after the transfer window closed. Real Sociedad top of the league, they've won all 4 of theirs, including against title challengers Valencia, and Real Madrid stay 2 clear of us, but we avoided the worst result, which is all we can ask for. Galovic should be back next weekend, Vinagre will have to play in a Champions League match, but a decent performance and a slightly more positive way to end the episode. So we're going to take the positives from that draw, try and build on it, try and get a good start in our Champions League group and continue to build our La Liga form. And we will be back on the 19th of October to face our former club Chelsea. We left them to come here hoping it would be a better chance to win the Champions League. And that may well have backfired on the early judgment. But let's have a look at how we stand on the 19th of October. We'll be back to face our former club in a brilliant reunion at Stamford Bridge. We'll see how Chelsea are getting on there as well. Hopefully we'll both be doing well in the group stages and we'll both get through to the last 16. But if you did enjoy this episode, that very strange transfer deadline day, and that brilliant game in El Clasico, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if your thoughts on this Barcelona side have improved after that performance. I'm slightly more optimistic, but it's clear to see Real Madrid are still the favourites. So maybe we do have to target the Champions League, and I guess Chelsea will be a good barometer of how close we're going to be. If you haven't already, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel and weekly live streams every Tuesday at 10 AM. We'll be back with this one on Thursday. Dorking Wanderers in the meantime tomorrow. And of course our new series with Macclesfield continues every weekend at 1 PM. Saturday and Sunday. The first episode was at the weekend. And if you did miss it, you can catch up in the eye above. If you haven't already, please do give the podcast a try in the eye above too. We've got loads of football content, interviews with pros, predictions, podcasts and matchday vlogs to come soon as well. So plenty to look forward to on that one as well. But a big thanks for watching and your continued support. And I hope to see you next time. The reunion is on the cards.